Hi, Kim.
Hi, ladies.
Hi,
How are
Kim.
you?
Good. We
We're
were
so good
just,
now that we have you on.
yes, we were
Listen,
just
I know
talking
that they
about
want us together. The people
exactly.
have asked, and now we're giving them what they need.
We were just saying that we're gonna probably commit to like a once a month thing, especially when New Jersey comes back, where we all do a podcast together because you guys love the All About TRH girls and Kim D together, and we love doing it with Kim D. So
We just
we
made a
are excited.
commitment, everyone. I
Yeah,
think, like I said, we can do it randomly now, but once the show comes on May 5th,
exactly.
I think we should definitely, do something once a month. I think people would love it.
Yeah. Well, Kim, we have a lot to talk to you about.
I
Yes.
can't wait.
I'm sure, yeah. So you actually recently made headlines for your meetup with Teresa. Please tell us how that came about.
Okay, so last season, while they were all filming, James and I had been speaking. A couple of the girls, our mutual friends, Jacqueline, Siggy, Dolores, they all had talks with Teresa. They'd be out for dinner or they'd be on the phone and they'd be like, you got to make up with Kim D. And she's like, I don't know what I did. Okay. So two of them knew, and the other one calls me up and says, what happened? And I had told her this before. It was Siggy. And I said, Sig, this is what I was told. And I was very hurt. Blah, blah, blah. Because Teresa and I, which I'll talk about the lunch, how she reiterated what I'm saying, were extremely close. Okay. When Teresa, the first couple of years when we were filming, I'd be on the phone with her till like 2 a.m, falling asleep while she was still folding clothes. Okay. We'd go for dinner. We'd go for lunch. We were very close. Kristen and I would go to her house. We'd clean closets. It was we just had fun. We're Taurus. We're both Taurus. Okay. She knew Michael. With that said, now everyone's getting involved. Dinners are happening. James says to Teresa, I'd like to call Kim. James likes the podcast. He was listening to Kumasikyam. Okay. And he likes my opinion. And he said, I'd like to talk to her. Of course, Teresa he was never going to do that behind her back. He
Right.
continues to talk to me. Teresa wanted to invite me to filming to her podcast when she was doing the podcast, among other things. But there was a a case going on, as you girls know. And they knew that I knew the ex. I don't even want to say the name. And my name was thrown around in court a lot. Okay. Things that I had reported. So it wasn't the right time. Okay. So then I'm still going on my, talking and whatever on my I start my own podcast. I'm talking. And then they're like, we really would like to get together. Would you like to get together? I said, I would love to get together. A real makeup session, not talking about what I've spoke about before, not about the fight that Teresa and I have had, which made great TV. It made great TV. So we
Right.
both said that. But we legitimately wanted to make up. And I think she wanted to look me in the eye and tell me that she didn't do what I thought she did. So I finally get the text, a three-way. It was Louie, Teresa, and James. And they asked me to do them a little bit of a favor. I did. It was not a big deal favor. And then we were very grateful that you helped us out. We'd love to take you for dinner. And so it first started out for dinner and then it went to lunch because Teresa had to go somewhere on Monday.
Mhm.
And that's how we did it that
Yeah.
Friday. And then you could ask me questions about that too. But it was legitimately to make up. Nothing to do really. We talked about the show a little bit. Nothing to do with the past, to make up. And when the two guys were getting the table, Teresa stopped me midway and she said, look in my eyes. And I did. And she swore and she repeated, I never tried to get you off the show. Now, something did happen that was said, but it wasn't exactly that. So she wasn't directly the problem. You understand what I'm saying? It was the makeup with the family. Now, what do we do with Kim D? So the producers took it upon themselves to tell me that Teresa said, I don't really want to film with Kim anymore. That's not the way it was said.
Well, because Melissa and Joe at that point probably didn't want you to be involved because you were
Correct.
Team Teresa, or I mean, you guys did have that fight. The one thing that I do have to ask Kim is that you heard that Teresa was the reason behind you not coming back. Why? You're a straight shooter. You confront the situation. Why not confront her then and there when you heard that?
Okay, because we had had a conversation before this while we were filming. And Teresa had denied that this happened. Okay. She was like, no, this didn't happen. It wasn't said. The whole bunch of people when I
Right.
was filming told me. So I really felt like, remember, this is going back like 10, 11 years. So I
Right.
kind of had I was losing trust. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? When you lose, so I was losing trust. I'm like, now I'm off the show for the 1 year. I'm off. And I'm like, and I'm putting two and two together. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure the Gorgas, they made a deal, blah, blah, blah. And I don't get hurt that often, but I loved Teresa and I believe she loved
Yeah.
me. And I still think to this day, she didn't go as far as to get me off the show, but I think she had to make a decision with her family and the
Yeah.
show. Yeah. And make a deal with the devil. You know what I mean? Which, listen, a lot of us in that position would have to do it. Your family, your parents are alive. So I
Yeah.
see it with different eyes now. You know what I
Right.
mean, girls? Like,
Of course.
years go by, you get over it, and you say, you know what? You realize what happened, and like the hurt goes away, and you're like, you know what? I'm over this, and I want my friendship back.
Yeah.
That's
That's
good.
basically what happened. Yeah.
Absolutely.
The most requested question was, what were your thoughts on Louie?
We love Louie, by the way. So Kim,
Okay. No, 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 no. I'm not going to say anything bad. Okay. Well, I'm
But
going to
speak your
tell you.
truth.
No, I'm going to speak my truth. I'll tell you exactly what happened.
Okay.
So we sit down, and I said to Teresa, when did this start happening? Like, you were so tough, and you never let people see you sweat. So, like, as a girlfriend talking to her,
Yeah.
and she goes, they're hurting him. They're
Yeah.
hurting him. And he said, like you did, meaning me. I'm like, oh my God. I go, Louie, come on. So we went back and forth on a couple of things. And I said, listen, did I ever call you this kind of name? He said, no. Did I ever say this, like bad things? He said, no. I said, so this is my job. I am going to say my opinion. I
Right.
go, I really can't sit here and say I dislike you. I said, how many I say on my show? He's a great father. He was very good. I think that he was very good he's a good influence on Teresa. I said, my accusations to you, my opinion, and I'm allowed to do that. This is what I do for He goes, you're right. I said, now, I put it like this in perspective to him, and he got it. I said, if Teresa's filming and the filming is not going right, there's no drama, there's no net, what happens? She gets tapped on the shoulder and she has to bring something up. She said, yeah. Is she going to say no? He said, no. That's her job, right? He said, yeah. I said, I don't want to be mean to you. I said, I happen to think the main things that a man should be: a good husband, a good father. You are. Is there certain things I'm not crazy about? Yes. I'm still going to say I might not like your jacket, or I might not like what you said, or I'm going to do that. I'm not going to change. He goes, that's okay. And then it was funny between the two of them. I go, and you used to, you dropped my Patreon. He goes, well, she made me do it. Meaning Teresa, you points to her. She made me, she goes, yeah. I said, what are you listening to her for? Well, we all laughed. And I go, Louie, I need you back on. He goes, I need your $10. He goes, I'll be back on. So it was cute. It all turned out to be okay. Because when we thought about it, we thought about the silly things against the not like the nice things. You know what I mean? I'm always going to say my shit. And, he got it. He got it. And I said, you know what? Maybe I'll soften up a little bit because now I like you. Now I got to
Yeah.
meet you face to face. And I said, you have to admit, I did ask you to come on several times. And he had mutual friends. I really want to meet Kim. Like, I want her to see me for me. I want her to meet me. So I took him at his word. I took his word. There really, right? And even James says, like, we're here to go forward. And he agreed. He agreed. No, he goes, we're going to go forward. So, but I think like he just had to say, like you did, it was really funny. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I didn't take umbrage with that. I didn't take umbrage with that.
Did
So
you did
it
you
was nice.
apologize to him at all, or no
No,
apology?
no
Kim.
apology. I won't. Yeah,
Okay.
no, no, no. I can't do that because then that means that I'm sorry, like I'm not really. I explained to him I'm who I am, and at that moment in time, I had my opinions, and I didn't say anything that can get you in trouble. God forbid, jail or trouble. Or I go, I didn't say that you're a bad father or that you. He goes, you're.
Yeah.
So I'm going to continue to give my opinion. So listen, if I had done something to get him in trouble, or I would say, oh my God, I'm so sorry I got you in trouble. But that's not the case. So there was no apologies. There was no apologies.
Are you still speaking
Sorry.
to that person, the ex?
I have not. We text
Okay.
because I think she saw everything, and I said, listen. And I said this at the table. I'm not going to come on and talk smack about her. I'm not here for this. And I'm not going to turn against people that I'm not doing that. So basically we left it on the table that I'm staying out of it. You know what I mean? I'm saying,
Okay.
and I told her I don't want it, I don't want anything to do with it either. She knows. And I said, I think this all should go away. It's all got to stop.
Did
They
you
knew
tell her
this,
that?
Teresa. Yeah, well, I told her a while ago. It all needs to stop. This is what I said. And I told him I felt the same way. And I had told James throughout it, I said, this all has to stop. This is all a bunch of baloney. Everyone has to stop. If everyone stops, it'll go away. And
Yeah.
that's what I
Right.
think it should. Teresa and Louie are very happy in their life. Okay. And this is an ex. It belongs on both parts. It belongs an ex. And that's what I really feel,
Yeah, absolutely.
And I
you
hope more
know?
people start to
But I'm
feel
not
that
going to
way.
sit. Yeah, but you want to know something? Women would really even lose respect for me if all of a sudden I make a Teresa and I'm like, bink, 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 bink about someone else that I spoke to. I'm not that woman.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
No.
not going to do that. Do I like what was going on? No, I don't like
Yeah.
what was going on. I made it very clear, but I'm not going to turn around and talk smack it now. And then it'll just continue.
Well,
That story will just continue.
Louis won the case against the ex, and we're going to see it play out on the season. So, what are your thoughts knowing that he won against the ex? And I do think that Louis and Teresa both could care less about her, but she's the one who won't end this. So, what are your thoughts, first off, of him winning the case?
Well, I don't even like to, I don't like to say win. I'm going to tell you why. I believe in this situation, nobody wins. It shouldn't have happened in the first place. Okay.
100%.
No one wins in this. You know what? All of this nonsense should have never happened in the first place. Louis had moved on. He's married to Teresa. All this stuff should have never happened. That's where I stand with that. And I think that if Louis has a truth that's coming out with this case, that should be seen also. Because
Yeah.
everyone heard the other side. Of course it should be seen. Of course. And then I hope at that time, because now there's new allegations from the attorney, I hope it just goes away for Teresa's and Louis' sake and for the ex's sake. It's got to stop.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not healthy for the ex to harp on this. So,
No,
yeah.
no.
Um,
And I'm going to tell you something.
yeah,
Teresa, it affected her. And why should it affect her? She has 4 daughters to take care of. She does all these shows. She works like an animal. I even told her, I go, I can't believe how much you work. What do you need this aggravation for? And she don't. She really wants it to go away. I think even more than Louis, because it's nonsense. It's
yeah,
nonsense. You know?
absolutely.
I agree.
One of our
So as a
listeners,
friend, I don't want this for Teresa. As a
yeah,
Yeah.
friend. So
absolutely. One of our listeners asked this. They said, "Why does your opinion and attitude towards Teresa change depending on who you interview?" That's a tough
I
one.
don't think it's on who I interview. I think it's my feeling at the time and what I see. Um, I don't, people say I flip flop. No, it's just that I'm very opinionated. And
Yeah,
so one minute I might think this, or if I don't like an outfit, I'll say that. That's just what I do. Now,
yeah,
I just did the timeline. I don't know if you saw some of these things I didn't know. So I did the timeline as to what took place between the Gorgas and Giudices and Louis. And I said, wow, this is interesting. And my whole panel thought it was interesting, and my listeners did. So there's a lot of things that
yeah,
people don't know. So when I find out information, that could change my mind. It
And
could change my, and I can't change what the other person's saying. You know what I mean? I can't change that. Like when I do it with Dana, I'm not there to change her opinion. She could say whatever she wants, and then I'm going to make my opinion, you
exactly.
know?
I
Yeah,
think
Yeah.
that's where I'm pretty sure that's where like people see who you're interviewing and they're just like
Yes.
automatically like enraged and saying, why would she interview that person? She knows what that means. And then if you go and like
Yes.
that's probably where the flip flopper comes. But we
Yeah,
interview
but you
people
want to
that
know something?
people don't like. So it is what it is sometimes when you're interviewing.
Yeah, and I'm not going to stop that. Okay, I do the live
Correct.
with Dana. We both say our opinions. Um, the two of you and I might not agree on something. Does that mean I'm going to say, oh no, we're not going to do we're not going to do our things
Yeah.
once a month? That makes it better. This
Yeah.
United States is filled with so many different opinions. Okay. We're not one person. We're a lot of us are opinionated. That's why you do the show, girls, because you have an opinion and you're
Yeah.
smart. Okay. I do the show. People like to hear what I have to say too. That's what I get paid for. So I'm not going to say, oh, I can't, interview this one, or I can't because they might say something somebody doesn't like. That's not who I am. I want to hear what they have to say.
So, well, you did an interview recently with one of the thirstiest house husbands that we have ever
Okay.
have ever seen come on the show. You did an interview with John Fuda, aka Bravo Lover 1234's husband. Do
Okay.
you feel like you should have challenged the narrative he was pushing out more?
I no, I'm gonna no, because I believe some of the things he said. Okay. And it was his day in court. It was his day there. There was a lot of accusations thrown at him, and he had the right to come on my show and to defend himself. And there were certain things that, like, I would have, I can't tell a person how to speak about another person.
Yeah,
Okay. Whether it's his baby, you know what I mean? I'm not a priest or a psychologist or whatever. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, that's not very nice. You should. So I still believe that he had the right to come on. You got to remember, he was just at BravoCon. They showed the trailer and there was a lot of accusations thrown around. That's right with the time that he came on my show. He wanted to talk about his truth. So and I'm friends with John Fuda and everyone at the table a couple Fridays ago, they know that. And I said, I'm not gonna not be friends with people because you don't like them. Your fight is not my fight.
yeah, I agree with
So
that for sure. I don't think anyone should ever insert themselves in the fight
right.
because once they get back together and they're friends again, then you're left out. So I get that. Our listener asked, did he set boundaries before the interview? Because
No,
his version of events seemed very convenient and I felt he was left unchallenged.
nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. And the same thing I do. Like I said, John, I'm not going to give you my questions. He goes, I'm fine. I said, I'm going to ask you what I want to ask you. You say what you want to say. We never had to stop. We never had to edit. Nothing. It was just done. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't do the interview. I really wouldn't do it. So, I'm going to be doing a lot more interviews throughout. I don't really care about getting interviews on my show. Once in a while, I'll have someone. Mostly it's an opinion show with my, talking about the different, like we're going to do one on when I just watched the Wendy Williams documentary, blew my mind.
Oh, that
Mm.
was wild.
Really sad.
So gonna have
Sad.
my opinions on that. I'm gonna have my opinions on Lala getting pregnant with no father.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm an old-fashioned girl. I'm a lot older than you girls. So I have my opinions on things
Yeah.
that people want to hear. So
Right.
my next show, because somebody was really funny. Somebody says to me, oh, are you ever gonna do a show that doesn't include Teresa? I'm like, yes, but not today. But not
Yeah.
today, because I had to do the timeline.
Yeah.
So it's all, you know what I mean? So it's my show is really not interviewing people. You won't see that too often, but there's a few people I'd like to get on, so we'll see from there.
Yeah. Did you ever interview Rich Wakili? I know you said you were going to.
Yes, I did not.
Okay, so are you going to? Our listeners asked that.
Okay, here's the truth. Rich Kelly was going to come on,
Yeah,
and I don't know if you girls know he had some issues
we
on Instagram. Yeah, and Kathy and I spoke, and they all went off of social media for a while, the whole family, and it just wasn't the right time for him to be coming on a show. So once maybe when all this clears, because I will not discuss that. I
yeah.
Yeah.
will not. I don't get into
We don't want
that.
you. Trust me, we don't want
No,
you.
I
And
don't do that. You know what I
we
mean? I'm
don't
not.
either. We don't either.
So once maybe that clears, maybe when the show comes on, let's see. He would love to do it, and I would love to have him, but it was a bad time. You know what I mean? It was not the right time to be interviewing him.
Well, people were really underwhelmed by the interview with Kathy that you did. Not because of you, but because of Kim's laughing, guys. If you're not watching it,
Yeah, yeah.
what do you agree that it was a little underwhelming based on how she was answering questions?
I believe that yes, certain people come on and they don't reveal everything that I want them to reveal.
Yeah.
You know, so, like they
We
hold
feel
back.
that.
Yeah, and I think Kathy was very ambivalent about doing the show. Very ambivalent. She really wasn't crazy about doing it. She did it for me because we're
Yeah,
good friends. Okay.
yeah.
So she's nervous. You know,
Yeah.
look what happened on social media with her husband. Like, I get it. Me, I don't care. You know, me, I don't care. People threaten me, I threaten them right back. Like somebody just threatened me on IG. Like, if you have my name in your mouth one more time, because my grandfather and my uncles were big boys, like I'm not going to be so nice. Don't threaten me with a good time, honey.
Yeah.
Don't threaten me with a good time. You
Yeah.
know, like I love that, but other people really don't want it. You know what I mean? I come from a situation where knock yourself out. You want to threaten me, say whatever you want, do whatever you want. My son feels the same way. So I'm a different breed, but I get when someone's a little more timid. And I really honestly believe that's the reason why Kathy was a little, um, I don't know, like maybe so forward in her answering. You know what I mean? Maybe she held back a little bit. So you girls could be right and your listeners could be right, but that's the reason. You know,
Yeah.
she's not abrasive like me, you know?
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Are you still in contact with Kim G or Danielle Staub?
Okay, so this is funny. So I reached out to Kim G and I said, Kim, we're family, like we're sister-in-laws. Of course, they're divorced. I said, we really should get together and have lunch. And she goes, you know what? I really miss your mom. She was very close with my mom. And I
Oh,
said, I do too. And we're supposed to be having lunch or dinner. She doesn't want any of this, you
Yeah.
know? So I said,
oh.
Kim, we would have so much fun. Like, if you came on, you know me, I'm like trying to manipulate it. If you came on, we could have fun, you know? So let's get the lunch out of the way first to the dinner. And then maybe I could talk her into it. I would never put her on the spot and make her feel uncomfortable. But I think it would be fun. I think people would love it.
It'd be
Like
a
no
Why do
matter
you
great,
what,
think,
great throwback for
yeah.
yeah,
sure.
it would be
Why do you
fun.
think she doesn't want to? She came off really bad in the beginning seasons, and she is probably scarred. Do you think that's why she doesn't want
Yes.
to?
Yeah, because she found some peace. But don't you remember just recently when the information came out on people that were saying they knew who went to the feds or to the, I
Yeah.
know when it wasn't Melissa and Joe. She came out and said that. So like when you want to stay in the background, you don't do that. So that's why I'm like, you know what, Kim?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
you're so right about that.
yes,
Exactly. Why comment at all?
right. So you know what? Why don't you say it?
At that point, by the way, because we're doing a rewatch, so Kim G is just, oh my gosh, she really did come across like really bad, just very thirsty, putting her nose, and it was so uncomfortable for Chris Larita, her son. Were you sister-in-laws at that point?
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
so you guys were still married to the same, like to brothers?
She was married to my stepbrother. My
Okay,
mother's husband,
okay.
Tom Granatell, had 5 sons. I introduced Kim. Kim was my assistant manager years ago when I was like 16, 17 years old. And I went to work for Pants Place. She was my assistant manager. And she speed skated and she was really good athlete. And so was he. And I said, I think the two of you would get along. And well, a lot of years later, they got married and had 3 kids. Then Danielle Staub and I had met, Jacqueline, everybody met. My Michael met Danielle. He wasn't thrilled. And he said, I really don't want you filming with her. Like, I really don't, so we can do what you want in your private life. And so Danielle wanted me to come on with her. I'm like, I'm going to film, but I can't. I told her the truth. So she's like, okay, can you introduce me to Kim G? I said, of course. And Kim G loved it. As you saw,
Hmm.
they loved her.
Yeah.
And I think while she was on, she made good TV because whether you're thirsty or not, if you get them going, like when we were both drinking out of the same cosmopolitan glass at Teresa's party, that to me is fun stuff.
Yeah.
That we had fun with. Yeah. So, but then she was asked to leave. She was invited to Melissa's party, the Christmas party. They
Oh,
knew she was bringing that woman.
oh, I'm sure they
They knew. They knew.
yeah, I don't doubt
Then
that.
they embarrassed Kim and the
Yeah,
woman,
that's
asked them to
mortifying.
leave, and then Kim was never back on the show. They got rid of Kim.
You
So
could
you got to
tell that
remember.
you could tell they were embarrassed to even do it because like they probably knew what was happening, but then they had again pick a side at that moment.
Exactly,
Hmm.
Yeah.
exactly. So
Have
you got to
you
remember it's production too that does this
I
shit.
know.
Oh,
Yeah,
trust me, yeah, we know.
yeah.
So as far as Andy Cohen, he has been on making a million headlines right now with people saying he may be a little bit inappropriate. Have you witnessed any behavior from Andy? I know that you would see him at reunions, but you also went to his book signing. I think it was like
Oh, I've seen him out socially. I mean,
okay.
I had gone to 54 Below, and Luann de Lesseps was performing, and I was invited upstairs to the green room. That's when you see him go, Kim D's here, Kim D, and then Luann's coming like to bother. Yeah, Kim D, Kim D. I have never experienced inappropriate behavior. I have watched Andy when he makes the phone calls and he's drinking. I mean, and I see him on New Year's Eve, see him drinking. And Brandy, I not for nothing, all of a sudden now it's indecent if you speak sexually or whatever to Brandy. I don't go for any of this. If he was going to be doing any kind of cocaine or blow or whatever, he would have been doing it up there in the green room. Okay. There was
Yeah.
no signs of that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Zero. And we were there for a long time. It was me and Kristen, and we were hanging with them and having a drink, and no signs. He was never inappropriate to me. Um, I truly believe, first of all, he apologized for what he did with Brandy. He apologized. But the
Yeah.
other stuff, making people drink, do they say like years ago, open up the bottle of wine, this and that? But I don't know. I think, Bethany Frankel had started all this. And I think there's a lot of people who want to get on the bandwagon. The people
Mhm.
that started out on these shows, things were different then. You know what the show's about now. It's 13 seasons. It's 14 seasons. You want to go on and you're an alcoholic, right? But now you want to blame them for falling off the wagon?
Yeah.
I just don't buy it. I don't
Yeah.
buy it. I just don't. And I
What
think he's a good guy like Andy.
yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Dina's ex charges getting dismissed?
I have scoop tonight on
Oh,
it. I
Okay.
can't give it
okay.
away. I got my $20 Patreons that are paying
Yeah,
for
you guys
this.
support Kim.
Listen to me. This is not over. It's the only tip I can give you. So if you want to know what's going to happen next,
Okay,
tonight,
girl.
7 o'clock. Yeah. Oh no, this isn't over. This isn't
Yeah.
over, girls. Don't be fooled. Don't be
Yeah.
fooled. It's not over.
What are your thoughts on the new lawsuit against Bo and Louie?
Well, I mean, first of all, I want to see more of what happens. I asked Louis about that. He goes, nothing, it's not true. Nothing's going to happen. One person say they have proof. The other person says they don't. I mean, all I know is if you're a private detective and you have to do private detective work, I mean, I don't know if they have proof about computers and all that. I really don't know. I really don't know. I don't think anything's going to come of it. That's my opinion. you know I'm
I
sure
agree.
this guy Kevin Johnson feels that he was wrong. They had put him on the stand, and I heard they did a number on him. So he's going back after them. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I mean, we'll see what they have. We'll see. I can't comment on something that, if he has proof that Bo's detective agency did this, you're not allowed to do this. Now, does that mean Louis did it? No. If they have proof he did it, they have to show proof with the
Yeah.
computers. I think that's the only real issue is hacking into computers and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you the most excited about for this upcoming season of New Jersey?
You're not going to like what I have to say.
Oh
Uh,
gosh, what?
I believe, because remember, I go back from when Melissa and Joe came on, and I believe what happened between me and Teresa was because of this. Okay.
yeah.
I have a bone to pick. I have things stuck in my craw. Okay. I want the truth to come out on both sides. I want everyone to see that I've been saying that the relationship was never, and I believe it was fake, and I believe that things were done on Teresa's end because for parents, and I think things were done on the Gorga side because of money and a paycheck. Okay, so I want what I want vindication. And my vindication is going to show the true hate, which I don't promote hate. Don't get me wrong. This hate was from a long time ago. And all the phony bullshit that I couldn't stand that I was now Teresa's enemy because of, I'm going to be proven right once again. So I know that's not what people care, but I'm honest. And I'm not going to sit here and go, ooh,
Yeah.
keep second. I want the honesty. I want the true hate to come out so I can say, see, told you so.
Well, so what we can
That's what
tell
I feel.
what we can tell you is that I can totally see you wanting that, but from what we know from just our inside sources is that they don't really have any interactions with each other. So if they don't
No.
have much interactions with each other, then what are we going to see? We're not going to really see hate. We're going to see Joe talking about them behind their
Yeah,
back.
well, that's what I want to see. They're not.
Okay.
Listen. They're not. They don't interact. They interacted at the end. It wasn't very good. I want to see the real Joe talking shit. The real Melissa finally talking shit. I want to
Okay.
see Teresa finally fighting back and
Yeah.
finally
Yeah.
saying her truth. That's what I want to see. Not fighting to get. You know what I mean? We already saw that.
Right.
Remember when Giudice
Right.
and Gorga
No,
had the fist fight? We saw that. Okay, we saw the christening. We saw that. I want to hear the truth. Say your truth.
right.
Say your truth.
What is your status with Margaret Josephs currently?
I don't have an issue with Margaret right now. I don't. Do I like certain things that she did? Do I still have my opinions on things that she did on the show, things that she did to Zicky, things that she did with Teresa, rumors that have been put out? But when I came on my show, when I started my podcast with the Jersey crew, I said, again, remember different things that are being said off camera about me maybe possibly coming back guest starring. I don't want, if I come back, I don't want to be on the show enemies, 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 enemies. No. I want to
Right.
Yeah.
come straightforward, an open door and make my own opinion. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not taking on Teresa's enemies. I'm not taking on Siggy's enemies. I love Siggy and I don't like what was done to her. Okay. She's one of my dearest friends. But if
Yeah, Siggy loves
you
you.
do a
She's
guest appearance,
always said great things
yeah,
about
I
you.
adore her. Yeah, I
Yeah.
adore her. And that nothing will ever come between us. But I do want to come on neutral, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stay neutral. It just means I'm going to give everyone a shot. I'm not going to come on and go, I hate this one. I'm not going to be, I would really love to come on straight up the middle and then decide, what I like and what I don't like. Because, I'll see it from a mile away. So we'll see what
I feel
happens.
like I feel like Danielle Staub kind of did that when she came back the second time. She came back neutral, but it didn't work out for her because now
Right.
she's saying that
No.
I left so many things unsaid and her chance is like gone. So maybe not too
So that's
neutral
your
for
warning.
Oh,
one
well,
Yeah.
more
that's not going to happen. Oh,
time.
no. Listen to me. You think I'm going to leave things unsaid? Listen to me. The
Right.
split second, that's first of all, when I watch the show, remember, everything that's people are talking about with me is coming later on down the road, if it even happens. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm going to watch the show first. And I'm going
Yeah.
to have my opinion. My opinion can change before if I ever get a guest appearance or whatever, they can change. We got a long
Right.
way to go. We'll talk about that. But right now, I really want to come in just straight up the middle. Like I really do. I don't think Melissa and Joe are very pleased with me. I know Joe said to food I up with that girl. And I don't see that happening only because
Wait,
I
you
do
cut
have a
off a
strong
little.
opinion,
You cut off
on
a
him.
little, Kim. So tell us what about a girl?
Oh, he said to John Fuda, Joe Gorga, I want to make up with that girl. That girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, so Joe wants to make out or make up with you?
not make out, make up.
Maybe he does want to
Not
make
make
out with
out.
you.
No. Yeah. I'm sure he'd
So
have something very nasty to say about that. But no, he had said this about a month ago. Yeah, he'd probably say, "Oh, I'm gonna hurt," fuck you, whatever. So yeah,
yeah,
who cares what he says?
yeah,
But again, I don't see if I come on. Let's say I come on in 8 months, whatever, as a guest appearance. I don't see him coming strong with me at first. I do believe that everyone's going to be tiptoeing around. You know what I mean? Like, well, where's she coming from? What is she going to do? Whatever. So I'm not saying I don't hate anyone. I never hated anyone and I don't intend to hate anyone. It's too much energy. Okay? So,
yeah.
do I like a lot of the things that he does? No. And now that I saw the timeline, also what happened with him and Teresa, you heard my reel, she sent the bottle for the housewarming. I'd be like, no, don't send anything. So look how strong my opinion was there. That's how fast it changes.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I actually agree with that about the sending. I don't think that he deserved anything, and I don't think she should have sent the bottle either.
Correct. Correct. So we're engaged
Yeah.
with that.
Yes. What do you think about
Yeah.
Danielle Cabral?
On an island. Don't like I just
You're cutting
I
off a
just
little
don't see her
bit.
fitting in. Like she's on an island. I can't she's not on the team Teresa. She's not on the team Melissa. She's just on an island. Like I don't see
She's
any
on Team
close bonds with
Danielle.
anyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You see her going far on the
know,
show?
I really don't. I don't think so. I just don't. She just doesn't mesh. You know what I mean? She doesn't mesh. It's very hard to infiltrate Jersey. She just doesn't mesh. But again, we could be wrong. You know, I just don't see it. I don't
What,
dislike her. I don't like her.
yeah.
So I don't
What
have.
do you
I
think
just.
about her
She's
brother?
insignificant.
The brother
The what?
stuff. The brother stuff. What do you think about that?
I think if they brought that on, it might be a storyline. You know, I'd like to know why. I think just by what I see of her, I have a feeling that she has a very strong personality and she probably pissed him off and pissed off the sister-in-law. You know,
Would
Yeah,
she's
you
from
not
what
want her
likable.
as a sister-in-law?
Do what?
Would you want her as a sister-in-law?
No, she's not
Yeah.
likable. Like she's not
Yeah.
yeah.
likable. Like I don't dislike her. I don't like her. She's just not likable. You know what I mean? There's just something about her that's not likable. And again, I'm not sitting here talking smack. Not like, not dislike, not likable. I just can't even put it
Yeah.
into perspective. Yeah.
And from what we know, honestly, like the brother and his wife, there's not a chance that they're gonna come on the show. So I mean, but money
Yeah.
talks, but from what we've heard and know that they do not like have zero inkling
Yeah.
of liking the media, but or liking to be in the media or attention. So
But I
Yeah.
would
And
love
it
to see
probably
that.
would be the same type of storyline.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I would like to see again, you know what I'm about? I like the truth. Tell me the truth.
yeah,
Exactly.
Come on,
Yeah.
tell the
same.
truth. Why don't you like her? You know, I think
Right.
even if they come on, like, I would see if I don't care. If I was the sister-in-law and she did some really shit and Danielle Cabral did some really shady crap to me, I'd get my ass on that show. I'd say, right, pay me for one time. I'll come on. And I would tell,
Yeah.
what's the,
Yeah, because Danielle started it by talking about them first. It's not like they're being messy or shady. Whereas in with Teresa's situation, she invited her brother and Melissa to events while filming, spoke good about her family, and they still came behind her back. Whereas in Danielle has brought this issue on the show, and I don't want the issue if we're not going to be able to hear the other side.
1000%. That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I
Yeah.
feel.
So you went to Columbia Pizza. I hope I'm
Yes.
saying that right. To check out
Yes,
their
it's Columbia
pizza.
Pizza. Excellent.
Yeah.
I want to go back. Excellent.
Okay. So you went there to check out their pizza ovens. Did they go into detail about how they stopped Joe Gorga from stealing the idea? Because he brought that idea to Louie and Louie didn't know about this like pizza place. Did they say anything about like the pizza oven
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah. They basically said that the idea was stolen from them, that they, you know, was their, they don't really want them there, the Gorgas. They didn't say anything about Louie and Teresa not coming back. You know what I mean? Because I know Louie and Teresa still buy food from them. I think
Okay.
they realize, and I said this to them, I said, why don't you just get together with Louie and sell these ovens, you know?
Right.
And they're like, yeah, we should, we should. And I had
Right.
asked the owner to come on, but I think he felt uncomfortable. You know, they don't really like the limelight too much. I said, it's really silly that it's not, I personally said this from the beginning. I didn't feel it was Louie's fault. I don't think Louie knew, which I think Joe Gorga knew. Joe
Oh, for
Gorga knew they
sure.
had the ovens. Louie did not. A lot of people just said it was a silly thing anyway, and I think Louis just wanted to do something with Joe, you know,
Yeah.
so for his sister. So
Right.
again, you know, again, this is what I said from the beginning. So that's why when we had I had the conversation with Louis, like I said, you know, the basic things, the good things that I said should outweigh the bad because the basic things I stuck up for you, you know, whatever. And he's like, no, you're right. You know, so I said, I don't believe that you knew anything. And then I asked him, where are the ovens? He goes, Teresa said they're in, you know, so they gave them to some woman and she has them stored. I said, well, that's a shame. You know,
Yeah.
it's a shame. So
Absolutely.
A couple
Yeah.
of my people said, I'll take an oven. We were cracking up. So when
Yeah,
Teresa,
I'll take an
when,
oven.
Ter-
I know, I want to
when
try it,
Teresa
to be
and Louie get
honest,
out, I'll say,
so
can I have a
you
couple
should
ovens
come
to give
over.
out? I'll give them
Yeah.
out to my Instagram peeps.
Yeah, exactly.
Kim D's
Love
gonna
it.
do a giveaway with
Yeah.
Yeah,
pizza.
I'll
That'd
do
be
a
so
podcast
good.
giveaway.
Yeah.
How do you feel? How do you feel about all like a lot of housewives having a podcast? Do you listen to any of them? Is there someone that you like to listen to with all the housewives having a podcast?
I really, I'm not dissing anyone, but I don't because,
Yeah,
you know, I have to say I'm a news junkie. So I'm constantly watching the news.
Yeah.
And then also I watch movies, and I'm with my dogs or I'm
yeah,
out. So I don't have the time. I just don't have the time. And if girls notice, I've been doing a lot on social media. I'm trying to build up my fashion vlog, my social media that way. I have Barbie living with me now. Um, and I really want to go in that direction. I just was so excited. I got this business cameo for skincare. Things like that excite me. That's what I'm
Yeah.
yeah,
looking to do. You know what I mean? So I don't sit and listen to them. I hear you girls when it comes on the reels. I hear some of Tamra and who's the other one? Oh my God, the one that I hear once in a while. The couple, Rick and
Oh, Kelly.
yeah,
yes.
Rick and Kelly, I
Kelly
see them
Dodd.
come up on my feed. So that that I'll listen to, and I love seeing that, and I get a lot of info from that. I get my info from you girls. I get my info from that because
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not constantly reading up, and some of the things people tell me I can't report.
Yeah.
yeah,
I hate it, but I
And
can't
I
do it.
can vouch for you, Kim, because I know that you're not like on social media like
Yeah.
that. And because I remember when you first joined Patreon and stuff, like you had told me you were like, I don't know how to go about this,
Nope.
and you weren't like as tech savvy because you did tell me I watch the news, like I'm watching real
That's it.
TV, so I can
Yeah, and you
definitely.
got to remember, I'm a lot older than you girls.
yeah,
Also, on the other ones, Patreon, when I used to do that, I never listened to myself. I didn't even know how to go on. So
Yeah,
if I knew how to go on, I would have seen that he was,
right.
making all this, because I would have had to pay.
yeah,
Do you
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying? So it's not that I'm not interested in what people have to say. I'm more interested right now, or I've always been a news junkie. My conversations that are on the phone are to judges, politicians, a lot of men. I speak to a lot of men about sports. I have a man's brain. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So
That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
Sometimes.
that's what my days,
yeah,
Barbie's here all the time. She could tell you. One
yeah,
time, maybe we'll put her on an interview for a minute. This phone doesn't stop. With a lot of my influential friends that we talk about business, we talk about politics, we talk about sports. All stuff that I love.
yeah. We do have one last question for you.
Oh boy, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, okay. So, what are your thoughts on the Caroline Manzo lawsuit?
I got inside information on that too. So I'll give
Okay.
you a little tidbit, but I'm going over that tonight also. Um, I heard that when she got there, she was very uncomfortable. I think she thought that she was going to be like the peacock, like, oh, Caroline Manzo's making a comeback. And that's not the way she was welcomed.
Mm,
The other girls were kind of snickering about her, not making her feel that welcome. And oh, my dog's getting sick a little bit. Not making her feel that welcome. And the puppy. And that's how it started.
Can
That's
we
how it started.
can we tell you what we heard?
I would love to hear what you heard.
So we heard that it was completely the opposite, that she was acting great, acting fine, getting along with every single person. No one had one bad vibe about her feeling uncomfortable, and
Well,
that there
that
was,
I heard too. Yes,
yeah,
about the uncomfortable. Yes,
yeah.
yeah,
having a good time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That I had heard. But I have to tell you, she was not, I'm not talking about the sexual innuendos.
right.
She was uncomfortable. I might have to get up for 1 minute.
Yeah,
One
yeah,
minute,
that's
girls.
okay.
Just give me a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Give me 1 minute, okay?
Kim's going to check on her new puppy.
Yeah, no, she's
Yeah.
got a little diarrhea that we don't
Oh
want any puppies with.
no,
Yeah,
gosh.
it's okay. It happens with puppies.
I hope not on like a new rug.
Yeah, no, I got my floor. It's okay. I'll be right. I just got
Yeah.
to pick it up. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Oh boy. Ugh. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Hold on. Hold on. It'll take me 2 minutes.
We're gonna have
You
Chantal
know
edit.
why? I think it's because she ate some of the big dog's food too. You know what I mean? So sometimes
Yeah.
I go off their
Well, we
food.
don't know what you mean because we don't have dogs. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
all right. Well, yeah. If you have
Yeah.
a puppy and the puppy eats some big dog's food, yeah.
Yeah.
They just itch it. All right. I'm back. I'm back. All right. So yes, let me reiterate what I heard. Okay. Yes, I heard she was laughing, thinking everything, acting like it was funny, but she also saw the other women like they weren't accepting her. Like I can't explain. Like if you're like in a new school or you and,
Yeah.
and you see people like ha 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 snickering.
Yes.
She expected to be the big person on the show, like because she thinks a lot of herself.
Yeah.
Caroline Manzo thinks a lot of herself. I personally do not believe everything that she wrote. I don't believe that Brandy did everything the way she said she did. And I think that everyone knows Brandy's Brandy. So if I'm asked to do a show, okay, let's say I'm asked to go on one of these trips, and Brandy will never be asked again. I don't think so. And I
No.
know someone like Brandy's going to be there. Okay. Do I think that there's not going to be any sexual innuendos with Brandy being on the show? So she talks about. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So you got to make when you're making these decisions. Okay, I was asked to do worst cooks of America, and I'm not the worst cook, but whatever. I didn't want to leave my dogs. I didn't want to leave them. So
Right.
I've had to say, is it more important for me that I want to leave my dogs? My anxiety will kick in, this and that. So if I'm asked to do this show, okay, and they say to me, all right, we're going to give you 100,000, I'm probably going to do it.
We'll
So
watch
for
your dogs for you.
$100,000, I'll go do the show. And if I know Brandy's going to be there, I know that there's going to be sex talk. I know that there's going to be girls trying to kiss each other. So let's say I'm in the bathroom with Brandy, right? And they lock the door and Brandy tries to kiss me, which she probably wouldn't, but let's say she does. I'd be like, listen, girl, you could try all you want, but you ain't getting nothing here. I haven't had sex in 11 years. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. You got the wrong bitch. Maybe you should pull somebody else in here because it's not me.
Right.
That's how you handle somebody like that.
Yeah.
That's all. Listen, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I find this to be, I'm flattered. You say I'm flattered, but this ain't going anywhere, girl.
Yeah.
That's how you handle it. That's how
Yeah.
you handle it. So it is
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah, that's how you handle it. And she just Caroline, she had flashbacks of her childhood. Well, that's a shame if that really
Yeah.
happened.
A lot of the
And
things, some of the things were sad, but some of the things you're just like, it's not adding up with what the other girls are actually saying that were there. So it's like,
I agree. I
yeah,
agree. And I think Brandy got a bad rap. I think Brandy was embarrassed by what they did to her. The producers made her go home. And I think they should have sent Caroline home.
Yeah.
Not Brandy. Like you can't handle it. Can't take the heat. Get out of the kitchen. Like go. You
Right.
basically know what you're when you go with certain people. You know what you're signing in for. You know,
Yeah.
like especially someone who's been in the game for so long.
Well, we were also told that she said quite a bit about Dina and Tommy, and that's still an ongoing case. So when she got home and probably told Albert, it took 2 days for her to go ahead and file a lawsuit or file a complaint or whatever the heck she did. And it's probably because he's like, you can't comment on an ongoing case on this show. This is a big deal that could put my brother behind bars for a really long time. So
Yeah, I
that was
agree with
one
you
of the
on that
biggest
too.
things that we heard. But
Yeah,
it's
I agree with you on that too. I
yeah.
believe. Yeah, I believe that this was a well thought out way of getting her stuff off the show,
yep.
getting her ass back home and out of there. Okay.
Hmm.
That I really I believe that 100%. I'm
Yeah.
with you girls on that too.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Kim, we appreciate you joining us. This has been
Thank you.
requested. Chantal had gotten married, so we've been all over, but this has been requested.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Everyone's
Thank
like, please
you.
get Kim D, please. We love when you guys are together. So we promise our listeners we will do this monthly thing, and we appreciate you joining us. We love hearing from you.
And can
It was
I
so
just say
fun.
one thing? Can
Yeah.
I
Yes.
say one thing? Okay, so everyone's asking me what happened between me and you. Okay, so I want to just say that I had heard rumblings. I'm not going to use the words or anything that was used, that someone came to me on a DM. And the first thing that I did was text Roxanne and said, I gave you the definition of what this word was. Did you say this? And Roxanne said, and I was the only question mark. We never talked bad about you. We love you, Cam, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, I'm at my cousin's wedding. And what did I say? Have a great time. Tell your
Yeah.
cousin congratulations.
Yeah.
And we squashed it. So you all know, yes, there was an incident. Yes, someone said that they had said something, or Roxanne, and I questioned her, just like what I would do with anyone else.
We're
I
big
text
on
her.
we're big on receipts. We want receipts. Like when
Yeah.
people say that thing, we realize that a lot of people try to stir up stuff, but
Yeah.
we are big on receipts. So if if
Yeah.
someone's saying something, show us it,
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what
Always-
happened. So I want everyone to know. And then, Roxanne had come to me and said, you want to? I go, of course we'll do it. Of
Yeah,
course. And I had mentioned it on my YouTube live that we're fine. And,
yeah,
because I'm not getting involved in this blogging worse stuff. And I said, we're perfectly fine. I love the girls and we're good. And let's do this.
yeah,
So I
Thank
wanted
you.
to end with that.
yeah.
And I had a wonderful time. And as of May 5th, I think we should do it once a month.
Yeah.
Yes. That'll
Let's
be
do
super
it. And
fun.
I want to hear from our listeners about that too. They'll be so excited. They'll probably want
You
more. Your
got it.
puppy's
All
so
right,
cute.
girls.
Thank
So
you so much.
cute.
Thank you.
All right.
Goodbye,
Thank
honey.
you, Kim.
Bye.
Bye.